Hello to Carol, Ray, Karina, Sean, Nathaniel, Amanda and Alex. This is the first video response to your daily dose of Harry Potter for PostPotter Depression. I'm not looking at the camera because I'm reading off my notes, so sorry about that. And before I get into anything, I would firstly like to let you know that my name is Melina and I am from Australia. Now, Harry Potter-wise, that is an interesting fact, because you are all reading Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. However, here we have J.K. Rowling's original title, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Let me show you. And the back, Dumbledore. So yeah, that's the one I'm reading. Well, was reading at the moment. So I'm thrilled to be a part of this. So much so that in preparation for this video, I went over all of your videos again, take note on the specific things I wanted to reply to. I wanted to do everything, but this video would be way too long. Anyway, I guess I can start with how I got into Harry Potter, as I noticed some or all of you did this too. When I was younger, around say 9 or 10, my mum offered to buy me the Harry Potter first book, Philosopher's Stone. I can't recall if any more were out at the time besides this one. I made the one mistake I normally make special effort not to. I judged the book by its cover. A magical boy with a weird scar and a train. Nah. About a year or so later, I saw the trailer for the first movie, and as expected, I was amazed and wanted to see it. The best part was that I was around 11 at the time. Mum couldn't believe me, but we did go and see it, which we loved. The next year or so had me constantly begging for the books. By the time Mum bought it for me, only the first through to fourth were out. I had to wait for the rest like everyone else, and I thought it was going to kill me at the time, because I am a real bookworm when I had the time to read. I don't know if it applied to the second movie, but the third onwards, I had read the books before seeing the film, and I made sure to keep them separate, right from the first film, so not to be too hard on the things they cut out, etc. I have been a purely devoted fan since. Now, my reply to your comment in this video may not be in any order, though I tried to keep similar topics together. We'll see. Some will be just if I agree or disagree, but I've added my opinions on a few things as well. And here they are. Firstly, I too am curious about the rest of Harry's relatives. From what I have read in the series, I was under the impression that Lily got along quite well with her parents, as James did with his own. Now, the Potters I can understand as being dead, since James, who apparently didn't work, had a lot of money that had to have been passed down to him, presumably in the incident of his family's deaths. There is a rumour that Harry is named after Harold Evans, though it's unconfirmed. It's Lily's father, I think. Either way, Lily's parents were muggles, so unless they became targets or it wasn't safe for Harry, I can't see why they weren't included. I don't know. There are many possibilities there. I hope JK will explain someday, even if for no other reason than to satisfy my curiosity. I love the comparison Carol made between Harry and the snake in the zoo. I noticed a few things, such as not knowing their parents, but the being away from the land they belong in was brilliant, as well as being kept in small spaces, and the possible foreshadowing of the snake escaping, as Harry soon does from the Dursleys as well. Ray, I don't believe in that normal exists either. It's just a label to make people feel like they're doing something right, but that's just my opinion. Now, I don't think the Dursleys have a normal life, without including Harry, but instead the idea of it, maybe to them. Abnormal is untrustworthy and ruins their perfect everyday family image. As mentioned, a cat is reading a map. This is purely an observation, but Vernon corrects himself because it falls out of the normal picture his family strives for. Normal is familiar, safe, and in their control. I can understand why Harry is the worst nightmare for their family. Having said that, I also think the Dursleys contribute to who Harry is, far beyond the lack of an ego. and being a more humble, appreciative person. Harry seems to have little trust or reliance on adults, having never had any in his life that he could turn to, or that would make his troubles go away rather than adding to them. So he may feel that to make a good change, then he has to be the one to do it. He couldn't fix things at Privet Drive because he had no power or allies there, but at Hogwarts he has. Therefore, if he may have a deeper motivation for fixing and changing things because he himself couldn't change his own situation. Nothing Harry does as a hero is for himself, or even only for himself. He's selfless. Although he did, this is a note I added after, is that he did go to McGonagall later, first book, but she turned him away. He went to Lockhart in the second one, but other than that, I can't really think of any other adults until he has ones he knows he can trust. But adults in general, he doesn't approach them, really, for help or anything like that. Relies mostly on himself because he thinks that he has to be the one to change it. I don't know, just what I think anyway. On another note, bad, at least for the Dursleys, behaviour is punished at the Dursleys, but did anyone notice that at Hogwarts, with Harry at least, and then probably the trio too, once they're really close friends and all that, it's almost encouraged. Madame Hooch said not to fly without her there. Seriously, who leaves 11-year-olds alone with broomsticks? She said, quote, "Leave those brooms where they are, or you'll be out of Hogwarts before you can say Quidditch." Harry doesn't obey, and McGonagall, I suppose strict and fair professor and headmistress, basically rewards Harry with a rare privilege to play on the Quidditch team and get his own broom, as well as being a first year. First years aren't allowed to do that. She changed the rules, and didn't punish him for it. She could have at least punished him before putting him on the team. Snape is the opposite, which I think reminds Harry that there are still consequences. So really, if Harry sneezed, I think Snape could justify it as a deserved reason to take points from Gryffindor. Oh, you lift that too high, 5 points from Gryffindor. I can imagine him doing that. Mentioning of Sirius Black in the first book was something I had forgotten about, till I read the first book again a while back, and then it was mentioned in your videos. It stated how he helped Hagrid take Harry to Dumbledore by giving his treasured bike to the half-giant, which contradicts future events, namely the third book. While I like Ollivander because of my fascination with wand lore, I do think he is a little creepy. Sorry. I think he's also a bit similar to the Sorting Hat because they both point out certain things that make one different and place them into a category. Ollivander with the wand selection and the hat with the houses. Just picked a random one here, but the wood from an ash tree is used in a wand, for example. My research of wands made of ash state that it's related to psychological magic and law, magic relating to intelligence. These people judge a lot and are very obsessed with rules. They are also very quick to learn. You can assume a lot about a character by their wands and the house they're placed into before even meeting them. Speaking of wands, there was a mention of wandless magic in the Broomjinx moment. It was stated that it wasn't heard of again, but as Alex briefly pointed out, that is incorrect. Though mostly only Snape is evidentially skilled with such. I do believe Dumbledore and the Dark Lord have used wandless, non-verbal magic throughout the series, but not in a Jinx form. I think at the match a wand would be rather obvious, so you can be discreet about it, but still. Whereas in other cases a wand is expected and probably easier. Wandless magic in adults might just be too complex, or they're so adapted to using the tools of wands that they don't bother to go to the extra effort without it. I don't know, just what makes sense to me. As for the hat, I strongly believe in the sorting, because it helps us find those like us that we can relate to, feel comfortable around, such as Ravenclaws don't accuse other Ravenclaws for being know-it-all bookworms, and Hufflepuffs don't roll their eyes when a Hufflepuff chooses fairness and loyalty over something else. Just as Slytherins don't think badly of other Slytherins who strive for power through any means. Gryffindors, I don't have an example, but you get my point. Maybe the Gryffindors and Slytherins don't hate each other because of the crest they wear to support their houses, but because of personality clashes. A Gryffindor believes in honor and bravery, whereas a Slytherin focuses on their own ambitions and self-preservation. I'm still waiting on my Pottermore welcome email, which is driving me crazy. But I know I'm a Slytherin, though I have some Ravenclaw traits. I want knowledge for the wrong reasons, though, so... My family is interesting, because we've all done some really proper personality sorting quizzes. Not the ones that say, like, if you like potions, then you're obviously a Slytherin. But my mum is a Ravenclaw, my stepdad, a Gryffindor, my sister, a Hufflepuff, and I'm a proud Slytherin. Just a note I wanted to add in there. Sean, I have some theories about what I might see in the mirror, but I don't think I can pinpoint a single most dominant one. Except, at this point, maybe being able to go to Hogwarts itself. Or, second best, that Pottermore email! Alex, I don't really like Ron either. I mean, he's really funny, but it just annoys me most of the time. It might also be the Slytherin in me annoyed how judgmental he can be based on a few opinions or words, and also that had he kept his mouth shut, Harry might have ended up in Slytherin, which, well, the story is as it is because he's in Gryffindor. It would have been interesting to see. Oh, and I love your favourite quotes bit. That's cool. And I agree with most of the ones you've picked, and I like how you explain your reasoning behind them. There was a wondering about what Madam Hooch does. Well, personally, I think of a PE teacher. She may only teach a few flying lessons a year, or even just that one, I'm not really sure about that. But I think she's still kept busy. I mean, obviously there are the refereeing matches, she oversees practices sometimes as well, and some tryouts, I think. But I would think it's her job to keep track of all that. Okay. Let's start that one again. Got pretty far this time, 7 minutes. I'm still waiting on my Pottermore welcome email, which is driving me crazy. But I know I'm a Slytherin, so I have some Ravenclaw traits. I want knowledge for the wrong reasons. My family is interesting because we've all done some really proper personality sorting quizzes. Not the ones that say, like, if you like potions, then you must be a Slytherin. My mum is Ravenclaw, my stepdad Gryffindor, and my sister Hufflepuff, and I am a proud Slytherin. There was wondering about what Madam Hooch does. Well, personally, I think of a PE teacher. She may only teach a few flying lessons a year, or even just that one, I don't really remember. But I think she's still kept busy. I mean, obviously they're refereeing the matches. She oversees some practices as well, and some tryouts, I think, too. But I would think it's her job to keep track of all that. I mean, be the overseer of all Quidditch stuff, as well as being in charge of making sure the school room's kept in usable condition, keep the balls locked and guarded when not used, things like that. I bet she does a lot of stuff we don't see because Harry wouldn't come across it, or it's more like a paperwork angle of things. Or that our knowledge of what goes on in the matches, because besides the actual game, is more involved than we realise, that we just don't know it. There are people in the stands too. I can't imagine Hogwarts letting just anyone in. So maybe it has to be booked or arranged or something? I don't know. That's my thoughts. Snape and Draco are my favourite characters in this book, and remain so for the entire series. Originally because they're the main character, Harry Potter's, enemies. Not like the Dark Lord, whose name I only say that way not because I agree with him, but because it sounds cooler than the other variations. So, I mean, just in general, people who Harry doesn't like. I always like those two important Slytherins because in the books, it's Harry's story. So we only know Snape and Draco in this book based solely on what Harry knows. Who are they really? I mean, until Harry figures that out, the readers really don't know and mostly go with the narrative misdirection and judge them as being evil just because Harry does. Before I add my last comment and thought, I wanted to once again say how much I love all of your videos and will be watching every one that is uploaded. Once you guys begin on the second book, I'll be reading along with you. My sister as well. I don't know if we're going to do like the response together or as separate videos, but you'll get the responses to them. For now, I just want to do a video response on your comments, as I have done with this one. So this was basic, because a lot of videos to respond to, not just one individual one. I'll try to do one for each video, so sometimes I might not be able to. So I'll do one and it'll be for the days that I missed or something like that. Yeah, as I said, my sister will be joining us, second book, and we'll probably give our responses around a certain date at the end of each week to let you know what we thought as well, along with commenting of some of your own thoughts, stuff like that. So, the last thing I wanted to say is, Snape favours the Slytherin and seemingly hates Harry Potter, right? Well, I wonder how, if at all, that would be different if Harry had been sorted into Slytherin as the Sorting Hat had originally intended. What do you think? Just something to think about anyway. Anyway, bye for now, and I can't wait to watch more of your videos. Thanks so much. Bye!